Lula da Silva will return to Brazil's presidency in a stunning comeback. And it is a stunning comeback for a multitude of reasons, not the least of which is the fact that he was incarcerated on false pretenses. I mean, you want to talk about a fascist-style government. That's what they had. And credit to Glenn Greenwald. He and a couple of other journalists really did their part in ensuring that Lula was able to get out of prison and the charges were dropped.
And also, I feel like we need to do like a posthumous shout out to Michael Brooks on that, because he was always like one of his biggest fans and would always talk about this and never let it go away. Yeah. It's important, people.
The 76-year-old politician's win represents the return of the left into power in Brazil and concludes a triumphant personal comeback for Lula da Silva after a series of corruption allegations led to his imprisonment for 580 days. The sentences were later annulled by the Supreme Court, clearing his path to run for re-election. They tried to bury me alive, and I'm here. And he is.
Michael Brooks interviewed him when he was in prison. That's what it was. He actually went and interviewed him when he was in prison.
That's the look of hope, guys. That's the look of people in a country that know that they have been on the wrong path for some time. And Bolsonaro was trying to stage a coup. They were blocking off people from voting in certain areas they knew that were going to come out for Lula. They predicted that the election was likely going to be about 3 to 5 points in Lula's favor. It ultimately ended up being just over a point. But whether you win by an inch or a mile, you win. And he did.
Yeah.
And even though there were members, apparently, of the Bolsonaro regime trying to convince Bolsonaro to not accept the results and potentially even call in the National Guard.
Has he conceded? Did he?
He technically has, but he's not acknowledging Lula.
Okay. So he's just being a sore loser, but he acknowledges that he lost, essentially.
Let's put it this way. His own wife said, "Congratulations, President da Silva."
The world is better off this way.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. We need the rainforest.
And we do.
It's really important. I forget the percentage, but it's really high of the amount of our oxygen comes from that rainforest for the whole world. It's not just them, it's the whole world. So having someone that takes that seriously it's sort of like he's in charge of our lungs. Let's pretend that.
He didn't take COVID seriously. The economy was not doing well. The corruption was insane. And all the while, they thought that they could just pillage the country, which goes on in a lot of places around the world.
It's happening here.
The only problem is that Brazil's economy is one of the biggest in the world. I think it's in the top 10.
I really need to go. I really want to go. There's so many places in South America I want to go.
So as a result of that, you can't have that type of leadership. And maybe that will set the precedent for many other nations. The question is, how's Lula going to govern? If Lula governs as a, basically like a Maduro, basically as a dictator, socialist, that doesn't allow for the country to thrive economically, then you're going to really have a problem and the whole thing is going to start all over again.
Well, Double K, he says he's gonna ban deforestation. Is he going to really do that? I don't know. I mean, Trump said he was going to do a lot of stuff when he was running that he didn't do. But I think that Lula has a history that is tangible that people can look at and say, how credible is this claim? How serious? I don't know enough about his history.
But clearly he did enough when he was president that the country really wanted him back. Now, of course, part of it, I have no doubt, is directly related to them not wanting Bolsonaro to be president. And if you think we have any clue as to the tactics that Jair Bolsonaro was employing to try to rig this election, you'll never know.
Well, I'd wonder what our hands were in this too, because there's no way that we didn't have some level of participation in this. We had picks.
You know how many assassinations probably took place that you'll never hear about?
Well, I mean, I'm wondering who our pick was and how we finagled in this, because everybody plays in everybody else's elections. It affects them financially.
And when everybody's coming out saying, "Oh, look, Biden praised da Silva as the president," well, let's not forget that Bolsonaro's biggest cheerleader is Donald Trump. In fact, I think that Donald's got something to say about all this.
So, yeah, I wouldn't say that with other conditions, all other things, I wouldn't say that Biden would necessarily be a Lula da Silva supporter. Like they are the people that would normally be supporting
Lula da Silva is a total loser. He's a really terrible person, and he totally did not win that election. He totally lost, and they put him in there.
Well, then we're looking at fake news.
It is fake news. It's totally fake news. No one wins an election by less than a point. That's terrible stuff he's smoking there. I got totally better stuff than that. But believe me when I tell you,
it's how you end up roofied on Epstein's island.
Bolsonaro has not conceded. I called him last night. I told him, don't you concede. You totally won. Just tell them you won, and they'll believe it eventually. The bigger the lie, the more likely people are to believe it.
I like you, dirtbag leftist. I like the way you think.
Totally don't like any dirtbags, especially those on the left. They're just dirtbags in general. But believe me, Bolsonaro won that election. Totally won it. You know how I know? Because I was counting the votes.
That makes sense. I didn't think you could count.
1, 2, 7, 6,
Exactly.
3, 18, 27, 20, 24.
Is that your bank account in the Caymans?
Make America great again.
Again.
When I run again, the secretaries of state will count the votes my way.
You're going to lose to Ron DeSantis.
I created Ron.
And he's going to take you out.
Ron.
Oh, no.
No,
it's
totally,
Dr. Frankenstein.
He totally owes me. I made him governor, and he'll make me president again. That's the way this works.
He is on his own. Oh, no. He is on his own trajectory.
He doesn't have any trajectory. His trajectory runs right to Mar-a-Lago, and we are going to face off.
His trajectory is going
Governor
to the
DeSantis,
White House.
I'm calling you out. I totally see you. If I had the power to make Charlie Crist governor, I would. But even I can't help that man. He's such a loser. But believe me when I tell you, I am totally taking you out. If you even think about running for president in 24, you've got another thing coming, buddy. I don't stand down to anybody, especially you, you little weasel. I made you governor, and I will be your maker. Believe me.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.